Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we have another installment of recommended reading. It has been quite a while. I think it's been maybe 2 months or something since my last one. Reason being that we took almost a month off for my medical leave. So I did not read anything during that time. I was just not having it. And I also fell kind of into a podcast hole, both before and after that time period. So I only have 9 books on here, so this should be a fairly quick recommended reading. But I'm going to keep this one short and then also do another video about all of the podcasts that I have been delving into lately because there's several and I don't want to make this too long. Let's just keep it to the books and look out for the podcast one. So let's get into this. First up, let me move over a little bit so that I can put my books over here. As always, you can screenshot whatever ones that you'd like to read or write them down while they're over here. There will be the book cover and then the author information and stuff down below. So first up is Watch Me by Angelica Houston. It is, I think, her second memoir. I did not read the first one because I really wasn't that interested in it. And I honestly only checked this one out because I wanted to read about her relationship with Jack Nicholson. And overall, I feel like the majority of the book wasn't even about her relationship with Jack. It was more just about her life in general, pretty much from whenever she first, started making it big in Hollywood all the way up until her husband died. So it was good, but I feel like at times I was a little bit bored with it. It was pretty interesting to see or hear about like the kind of inner workings of Hollywood and like the parties that she went to and stuff. I thought it was interesting. I did like it. It didn't necessarily make me want to check out the first one though. But it was interesting reading about all these things. Next up is The Other Woman. And this one was really good. And also one of those like kind of twisty-turny suspense thriller type of books. The girl is dating this guy. He has a brother and a mom, and he's very, very attached to his mom. His mom pretty much like runs his life, and her and the mom have a very adversarial relationship all the way through. And the boyfriend slash, I don't think that they got married. I can't remember. They kind of like he's always taking the mom's side on things, and he has this other girlfriend that before the other girlfriend died, and the new girlfriend finds out about her and is kind of like, what happened to her, like, blah 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 blah, and the mom is always talking so great about how the other girlfriend was and stuff, and so it's creating this like tension all along, and it's building up and building up. And there's this like twist at the end, and you're like, oh, okay. That's what the title was all about. I don't want to give it away, but that was really good. I would suggest that one. Next up is Look-alike 25 by Jana Ivanovic. This is the 25th installment of the Stephanie Plum series. Love the series. My husband actually got me hooked on them way back, like 13 years ago or something, because he read them first, and now he just listens whenever I read them on the audiobooks. But love the series. I'm not going to go too much into it because I feel like if you know it, you know it, and if you've never, listened to it or read it, if you like kind of like funny, goofy type crime, books, then you'd probably like this. The next one is The Next Person You Meet in Heaven. In the last recommended reading, I read the first, or the 5 people you meet in heaven. And that one made me cry so much for such a short book. And this one was really, oh God, I'm gonna like start tearing up again if I talk about it too much. It was really good. I'm really glad that I read it. It was everything I wanted and more. Yeah, I will say though that I checked out the Magic Strings of Frankie Presto, also by Mitch Albom, and I couldn't get through it. Like it was just like it was written in a different style from the others, and it was also a little bit longer than the others, and I couldn't with it. I can't. It was just not my speed. Next up is An Anonymous Girl. This is by the same two authors of The Wife Between Us that I talked about several back, I think. I really, really liked that one. This one was not as good, but it was still good. Like, I feel like it would be hard to top The Wife Between Us because it was just so like, ooh, that was really good. This girl needs money, and she takes the place of another girl at a like kind of like a clinical trials kind of thing. They're not like testing medicine though, but it's kind of like a morality trial where she has to answer like questions about her own morality and like things that she would do and lengths that she would go to for, you know, getting, you know, justice for someone and things like that. And the whole point of it though, which she doesn't know, is so that the doctor running the study, who is also a woman, can find out if her husband will cheat again because he's already cheated once. So the whole thing is kind of building up to grooming the anonymous girl to be the one that she will put in place to try to get the husband to cheat with. And it eventually ends up that the doctor is like very controlling of things, and I don't want to give too much away, but it was very like twisty turny. And I feel like for me, the thing that I didn't like as much about it is that toward the end, things were like switching back and forth so much that it was a little bit hard for me to follow at times, which is sometimes harder because I'm listening to it on audiobook instead of reading. If I could read it and see the things on the paper, I could follow it a little bit easier. But if you're listening to it on audiobook, just be aware that like it's kind of hard to follow toward the end, but still good. I would recommend it. Next up is I Almost Missed You. And this one was strange. If I had it to do over again, I probably would tell you don't bother with it. It wasn't necessarily bad, but it was just kind of like, once you finally found out, you were like, that's it? You know, so to double back now and tell you about the story, the husband and wife and their young son, I think, are on vacation, and the wife comes back up to the hotel room and it's empty. The son and the husband are gone. He has like disappeared. And she's trying to like go back and figure out like, why did this happen? You know, how did he get away? Why did he take the son with him? And all this and that. And it's this big, like drawn out, like over several years, it goes back in time and then it goes to the present time and back and forth and back and forth. And then you finally find out why he did it. And you're just like, okay. That was a little bit of an over dramatization, a little bit of an overreaction, but whatever. So, yeah, meh. And then next up is Sometimes I Lie. This one was really good. Oh, I'm like remembering it as I think about it. This one was really good. I liked this. It is the story of, it's told from two different time perspectives. It is told from the perspective of two like 10 to 12-year-old girls, and then the same girls grown up with their own husbands and families and stuff. And it's telling the story of these two friends and sisters. And how to say it without giving it away, because the twist was very like, ooh, that was crazy. There's a twist. There's a twist and then like a double twist. What you think you know from the storytelling of the perspective of the young girls is different from what you think you know from the perspective of the grown girls. So one of them ends up in a car accident, in a coma, and she is aware of people around her, and she can hear what they're saying, but she can't like emote, and she can't interact or speak or anything like that. She can't even move. So she's listening to all these things going on around her, and she doesn't remember how she got into the car accident, but she's like slowly piecing it together throughout the book. So you're hearing it from like her being in bed perspective versus the perspective of her a few days before the accident, and then whenever they were children. So you're going throughout the book kind of being like, how does this piece together with that? And, you know, who did this to her and why, and blah, 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 blah. And I feel like it's hard to say anymore without really giving everything away, but that was a good one. I would recommend it if you really like twisty-turny type of books. I feel like I'm all over the place with this one since I haven't done this. I'm a little rusty. Next up is a recommendation from one of you, and I ended up really liking it. It is November 9, and this is about a young girl. She is a former actress. She's the daughter of a Hollywood actor, and she gets burned very badly in a house fire on November 9th, and then she loses her acting career because of it. She has like scars all over her left side of her body and stuff. And she's sitting in a restaurant talking to her dad, having like a difficult conversation with him and stuff. And this guy comes to her rescue to pretend to be her boyfriend and kind of put the dad in his place. And this is on November 9th, 2 years later. And she kind of feels like, oh, I don't deserve to have somebody this cute, you know, like blah, 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 blah. And they end up spending the day together, and then they decide to not see each other, not speak, block each other on social media, and only see each other on November 9th every year for the next 5 years. There's a reason for the 5 years thing, but you don't need to know that right now. But he's writing a book, and so this is going to be the basis for his book. And this kind of gives her the opportunity to live her life, but also have a touchstone to like, you know, come back to every year and just kind of be with somebody. So they agree to do it, and he is writing his book, and over the course of the years, she slowly is like finding out little tidbits about him, and then she finds out the reason why he was drawn to her. And she gets very upset, and then he finishes the book and delivers it to her, and she reads the book, and then she realizes why everything happened the way it did. I feel like I can't tell you much more after that, but it was really good. I would recommend that one. And then the last one that I just finished up yesterday was, I have to look again, The Woman Inside. This one surprisingly had really bad reviews on my library app. It had like 2 stars, but I think it was recommended to me either by somebody or you may like this book if you liked this book kind of thing. So this one is told from the perspective of the husband, the wife, and the other woman. And so the husband and wife have been together for 20 years, and they're going through a little bit of a rough patch. The wife loses her job. The husband had a company that went under during the housing crisis, and he, kind of was adrift for a couple years, fell into some bad habits with this other woman. And at the present time, we're seeing where they're kind of like, there go the dogs. At the present time, we're seeing how they're kind of trying to get back on track, but having issues still. And then the other woman starts to go a little bit bunny boiler on them and goes a little crazy, a little fatal attraction. And so it's kind of like everything is kind of running to a head. 3 separate people all thinking different things of the other, and nobody really knows what the other is doing, but they're assuming, and bad decisions are being made, and it kind of ends not good. But at the same time, I didn't mind that it was not a great ending, because it made sense. Like, not every ending needs to be a good ending, like a happy ending, to be a fulfilling ending, if that makes any sense. So I liked that one. I don't know why I got such bad reviews. Maybe just because of the ending, but I feel like it made sense, even though it was senseless. The actions were sense, whatever. I'm going to stop talking about it because I feel like I'm giving too much away on all of these. But overall, I liked most of what I read this month, past couple months, whatever. And look out for the one about podcasts. I'll probably try to film that next week because I'm running short of time right now in this very moment. But I don't know, maybe we'll see. Anyway, look out for that. And I will link the entire recommended reading playlist down below so that you guys can check that out if you are new to this series. And I will catch you guys next time. Bye.